Good morning, everyone. My name is Roman Miller. I'm a meteorologist here at the National Weather Service in Wakefield, and we'll go ahead and get started with our winter storm briefing. So the main thing that's changed, and I'll mention this a little bit more in future slides, with the system from yesterday to today is that, in general, the whole system has kind of shifted to the northwest. And with this shift to the northwest, that brings in some warmer air aloft and potentially even at the surface along the coast. And with that, it's kind of pushing the snow chances, or at least the heaviest snow chances, further to the north and west as well, and bringing in more of that sleet and freezing rain into a larger portion of our forecast area for Saturday into Sunday, especially on Sunday. However, we still have moderate to high probabilities for a major winter storm, regardless of whether it's mostly snow or what it's looking like now, which is more freezing rain and sleet, as opposed to just pure snow. That being said, exact details do remain unclear at this time. We've already seen how much of a change it's had over the past 24 hours. So we really want to get models to come into a further agreement and really lock in on one solution, which it seems like they're doing now, but only a little bit of time will tell if it actually holds or not. So just doing a quick overview of the next several days. Right now we are dry, and tomorrow will warm up a little bit. However, Friday, it will start to get a little bit cooler, and we could see a very low chance for like a light shower or snow shower. That being said, pretty much all of the model guidance that we have right now shows minimal, if any, convection across the area. And if we do see a few snowflakes, it doesn't look like right now that it would cause any accumulation or anything like that. But we will, of course, continue to monitor that. That being said, it does look like there's likely going to be a break in the precipitation from Friday night into at least the early part of Saturday. The break might even last into Saturday afternoon before we get to the main storm system for this weekend. And then that storm system is going to be a long duration event, lasting from Saturday into Sunday and potentially through Sunday night. So looking at our current probabilities for a major snowstorm impact across the area, you can see it's shifted north a little bit. We do have above a 50% chance for major impacts from snow, basically across the northern half of the area from the Richmond Metro north, including the Eastern Shore. And probabilities have decreased, as I mentioned earlier, across Southern Virginia and northeastern North Carolina, looking like lower and lower chance for at least significant impacts due to the snow alone. That being said, even though this is trending more towards a mixed precipitation event, you still could get quite a bit of heavy snow before it changes over, especially across the northern portions of our area. And then here is the latest probability of ice impacts across the area. Probability of minor ice impacts have increased to likely across southeastern Virginia and northeastern North Carolina. And the moderate ice impacts have also increased to moderate to likely across the same region as well. And we do expect, based on the more recent model guidance, that these probabilities will shift further north as we head forward in time. Now, looking at the probability for 8 inches of snow on the left and the probability for a foot or more of snow on the right, you can see that we still have a decent chance for quite a bit of snow across the area, again, with the heaviest snow likely remaining to the north and west. Those probabilities right now still looks like above a 50% chance at Richmond for 8 inches of snow, but you can see the probability of 12 inches has decreased from yesterday till today, and now it's hovering around 30%, and this is probably going to change as well as we get more model guidance and we figure out exactly how much of the precipitation is going to be snow versus sleet versus freezing rain. That's pretty normal at this time, and that's why we don't issue official snowfall forecasts until we get within 72 hours of the event, because of the model uncertainty and how much they can change if you're beyond that time frame. And that's why we're using the probabilities now. But in general, the probabilities have decreased and pushed that further to the north and west. Now the ice probabilities, because the snow has been pushed further to the north and west, the ice probabilities have pushed further to the north as well. So now we do have a decent potential for at least a quarter of an inch of freezing rain, which is our criteria for winter storm warning around here, and as well as a chance for a half an inch or more of freezing rain. This is increasingly concerning trend for us to see, And we will be closely monitoring this as we head through today and towards the event for this weekend, as we know that with the very cold temperatures we're forecasting, freezing rain is a significant concern due to the potential for accumulations on treetops, the power lines, as well as the roads with these type of temperatures that we're forecasting. So as far as the expected onset of the snow, right now we're still thinking that for much of the Wakefield area, the snow is going to arrive sometime later in Saturday afternoon into Saturday evening, and then east of 95 probably not arriving until Saturday evening. However, confidence is still only low to moderate for the exact onset. Oftentimes what models do is they show snow a little bit later than what ends up occurring, so it's not unusual for snow to start several hours before what the models are showing for the exact onset time. So just keep that in mind with these the first guess at timing. And then one thing I do really want to talk about is the potential for very cold, prolonged cold behind this system into next week, as well as potential for a little bit of wind for anything that has freezing rain on it, any of the power lines. The wind, although we're not forecasting significant winds right now, we do have wind gusts around 15 to 20 miles an hour on Saturday and Sunday. And with the heavy weight of the ice or snow on power lines and trees, that could be just enough to cause some problems. Now looking at the wind chill on the right, this is going to be our primary concern as well, is that once we get into Saturday, really Friday night, we're dropping into very cold Arctic air mass into the region. And this Arctic air mass is here to stay for a while. We're going to be way below normal temperatures through probably all of next week, if not a little bit longer. And with the wind, when you factor that all in, what it will feel like out there, potentially single digits to even Salisbury, we have here at around -1 degree heat indice, or wind chill rather. That's what it feels like outside Saturday morning, staying in the single digits or teens through most of the event Saturday into Sunday. And then wind chills remain very cold into early next week, into early to mid next week, with the coldest air coming behind the storm system Monday night into Tuesday, where we could see wind chills below 0 across much of the region, depending on how much snow and ice there is on the ground. If we do lose power, we have power outages in different counties. This is obviously of main concern, as you will have to factor in a prolonged period of below freezing temperatures with dangerous wind chills. Looking at our actual temperatures, right now we expect high temperatures on Saturday to be in the 20s across much of the area, except for along the coast. And Sunday, it's trends a little bit warmer with that northwest shift in the track of the low. However, inland areas are likely to remain below freezing. And then beyond that, Monday, Tuesday time frame, most of the area looks like it's going to stay below freezing for that entire time frame for high temperatures. So we could have a situation, especially with inland areas where confidence is higher, where you go below freezing Friday night and you're not getting above freezing until maybe Wednesday or even later. So keep that in mind as well. And as far as the chance of precipitation, we have that low chance for Friday for a few light snow or rain showers. Again, very minimal, if any, shower activity out there and no real accumulation. And then the main system that we're watching, the best chance right now is going to be later in the day on Saturday through Saturday night into the day Sunday, and then eventually tapering off Sunday night, potentially into early Monday morning before it all ends. Behind the system, it's going to be very cold as well. We're looking at the 6 to 10 day outlook here, so that's January 26th to 30th, and the CPC has us in well below normal, or this really just is confidence for below normal, but a high confidence for below normal temperatures across the entire region. Now I will show a few more things here. Just give me one moment. All right, so here's the chance for 6 inches of snow across the region with the latest model guidance. And you can see it's still pretty high to the northwest of Richmond, even including Richmond. And there is potential for 6 inches or more of snow, even across southern portions of the area right now, with that initial burst of snow at the onset of the storm. But when I go up with the snowfall amounts, I'll put 12 inches in here. You can see that shifts further to the northwest. And that just shows, again, that increasing confidence that we're going to have some sort of a mixed precipitation moving into the area. Now, looking at the same thing, but for freezing rain potential, here's the latest NBM chance for freezing rain accumulations of at least 1/4 of an inch. And that has now moved above 50%, even including the city of Richmond into the northern neck and much of the region now for, again, 1/4 of an inch or more of freezing rain. And if I change that over to 1/2 an inch of freezing rain, that potential is still quite high for this range. We're looking at around 50% chance for areas south of 64, essentially. And I'll even go up even higher with values and the chance of freezing rain accumulations of 3/4 of an inch, and there are still probabilities for that. So there is a chance for quite a significant icing event here as we head into the weekend, which again is quite a bit of a change from yesterday, and we will continue to closely monitor that. One last thing that I will show here is the expected precipitation type. So I mentioned earlier that given the very cold air mass, it is still likely to start off as snow for much, if not all, of the region. And that would be sometime during the afternoon or evening on Saturday. And then as you head forward in time, though, here's Saturday evening, and then we'll go into Sunday morning, you can see this area of pink and purple. That's the mixed precipitation, the sleet and the freezing rain. And you can see it's pushing now inland pretty far across the area. I'm still not sure exactly how far that will push inland. This is still very subject to change. But for areas, especially south and east of Richmond, it looks increasingly confident that we're going to have freezing rain and sleet for potentially a decent portion of the event on Sunday, maybe even starting at some point Saturday night. And then it is possible along the coast that you switch over to just plain rain, as that low is now expected to kind of hug the coast a little bit closer than we were thinking initially. Of course, if it does switch over to plain rain, here you still could see temperatures above freezing, and that would help out a little bit for the coastal regions, but further inland, it looks like it's going to be well below freezing temperatures throughout the event.